Hey, homie. Pick my hair out here a little bit. I'm one of John's old friends. I don't know what happened to him here. Last time I saw him, he kind of looked like me. Yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, a lot of guys were chasing him back then. For money. Yeah, you look a little different these days. What is that stuff you got in your hair, man? Crazy. Yeah, well, John, you know what, John, he kind of grows on people. Just like cancer. Nowadays, I think he thinks he's a rabbi. But he ain't Jewish. You know, there's a guy in the area that can't seem to find his birth certificate. And kind of like John, you know, he changed it. I don't know what's going on with that, but John can't even prove that he ever had a birth certificate. His mama didn't claim him, that's for sure. I told you we were going to get down low here. Well, John and I had a whole lot of experiences together. I asked a friend of mine if he'd just bring me something to reminisce a little bit. That's the same way, John. Thanks for later. Well, I guess I'll be taking over now, so our next guest is a pastor, and I don't think I can pronounce your name, so Iranian, or what's his name? I don't know. So I was going to bring you right on up.
Oh my goodness sakes. John Denson's the only guy I know, black guy that I know, can get a whole bunch of white folks in the room to roast him and get paid for it. Who said that smoking these didn't pay off? My goodness sakes. A Christian roast. That's like an oxymoron to me. But I guess you decide to roast somebody. I'm thinking, why would they pick me? I know the longest, I think almost the longest out of everybody here. And so that means I know all the mess. I'm thinking they do not want me to roast them. Because I get too close to the truth. But you know, it's amazing. Only Christians, not only would they decide to do a roast, but only Christians would make a black ex-con and a used car salesman a messianic rabbi. Christian people are funny. John, you are smarter than you look, I have to tell you. I didn't need to write any material, that's for sure. You know, it's amazing. You know, I'm also amazed that, you know, they talk about him singing. I tell, why do you tell people you near the Temptations or something, like you will sing with them or something? I'm so glad your granddaughter can sing, because you sure can't. Tell people that kind of stuff. Woo, my goodness sakes. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. You know, I'm surprised he didn't. Where's that neck brace? I'm surprised he didn't wear it tonight. All right, please put it on right now. Then go ahead, please. This is a fundraiser. You need to look at that. Trying to get people to give you some money. John's lived, John, have you ever been in this house? He lives in the better house than I've ever seen anybody live. Ministry, poor ministry. I do poor ministry. Yes, I come to his house, got 6 bedrooms in one house. I'm really, I need to raise some money, Pastor. I need to raise some money. Ooh, my goodness sakes. You know, John, I feel, the person I feel sorry for is your wife. I'd come over the house and he would say, Donna, Donna! Scream, Donna, Donna! She'd come down. He'd say, would you scratch my back over here? So, you know, payback is rough. So John walks out on the porch and he falls. Donna, Donna, Donna! She's thinking to herself, I am not going down there again and help that guy. Payback, man. Payback. Payback. That's all right. That's all right. I think if we take a fundraiser here tonight, it should be for Donna for sticking with you so long. So when you write a check for him tonight, would you put Donna in the memo, please? And make sure that she gets it. Do not give it to him, please. The bank, they wouldn't cash. They, you know, he can't cash checks at any bank. But you know, I'll never forget the time. John, John and Donna, he was invited over to a millionaire's house. And they had dinner and everything was nice. And of course, John was, at that time, I don't think he was Jewish back then. I think what John was doing, he was working for some missionary organization somewhere. But he was, they went out into the back, and this is a true story, by the way. True story. And the millionaire had took him out to the pool, showing his house, and of course John was passing out whatever kind of tracts he could pass out, fundraising stuff, you know. But that's all right. You got to work the crowd, work the crowd, work the crowd. That's all right. In Jesus' name, right? In Jesus' name. And so he goes out there, and the man is showing his, he has a bunch of alligators in this pool. They're standing there, and the man actually said this. He said, I will give $1 million to the person that can swim all the way across this pool of alligators and survive. I'll give him $1 million. So of course he looked around, there were no takers, and so everybody started to walk back to the house to go back, and all of a sudden we heard splash! Looked in there, and there was Donna. She was swimming that way, she was swimming this way, and she dodged one alligator, dodged another alligator, and just before the alligator, everybody was cheering her, and she was getting closer to the end, and just before her leg was getting ready to be pulled out, an alligator snapped at her leg and just missed it. She wasn't even touched at all. And there she was, she came out, and everybody's cheering her, and they come around, and there she is soaking wet in her nice dress and evening gown, and the man says, well, you know, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. Right after, we'll go back to the house, and I'll write you a check for $1 million, and I just want to ask you one question. What made you do that? She's like, I just have one question. John, why did you push me? Why did you push me? The problem was, millionaire was Bernie Madoff, so he never got it down. True story, by the way. True story. So tonight, when you decide to write a check, which I really want you to, please, will you do this? Just remember how much Donna has had to go through. But and still going through. But I'd be remiss without talking about going over to John's house to visit. Has anybody ever gone in the early days? I mean the early days. When you went over to John's house, you would think that you were walking into Munsters. Only for one reason. He had tarantulas. He had a snake in the chandeliers. John was so crazy, he would have snakes in the chandelier, and you'd be talking to him in the dining room table, and all of a sudden there'd be a snake that started coming down and be on the table. Iguanas hanging on the curtains. He thought it was, he thought it was so crazy that he had this snake, and he'd invite people over. And John was funny because he would always tell white folks black jokes. I would always crack him and say, John, why do you tell white folks black jokes? Because when they go to work the next day, the first black guy they see, they say, I got to tell you this joke. John, you got the last laugh on that one because they look at that person and no one in the room they're not laughing at all. Because the nacho cheese joke is not funny. Oh my goodness sakes. What you do to white folks, it's all right though, it's all right now. I would be crying to Jesus too. But I'll never forget the time he had that John, oh hi John. And she was, the young lady was sitting in front of, because John has a warm, inviting home. It's a great place to be, especially if you're in love with pythons. And so there's a python in the aquarium. And he says, well, I'm going to put a mouse in there just so the mouse and the snake can play. And she says, oh, that's so nice. And John said, put your face just a little bit closer to the glass so you can watch it real close. And about 30 seconds later, the python opens its mouth and swallows a snake. And I think there was even blood on the glass. It was a mouse. A mouse, so thank you for that one. I appreciate that. But I want to let you know that it's always fun because John was a great mentor. He was a great mentor. And he always, the thing about John, if you've ever worked with him, you always do the most work. All the time. He is so good at being able to say, he's a CEO, but he is so good at telling everybody what to do. Do this, do that. And John mentored me, and I never worked so hard in my whole life. And so John, I just want to say I love you. You did a great job mentoring me. And so I owe you a whole lot. And tonight, Paula, make sure you write that check. And make sure you put John Denson in the memo. And so he can take it to the bank because you know our check is not any good.